हार्टफुलनेसच्या सामूहिक ध्यान सत्रामध्ये आपले स्वागत आहे. या ध्यान सत्राचे संचालन हार्टफुलनेसचे मार्गदर्शक दाजी करणार आहेत. कृपया एक नवा अनुभव घेण्यासाठी खुल्या मनाने या ध्यानास सुरुवात करा. हार्टफुलनेस ध्यानामध्ये अतिशय सूक्ष्म व परिवर्तनीय ऊर्जेची मदत घेतली जाते, ज्याला प्राणाहुती किंवा ट्रान्समिशन असे म्हटले जाते. अशा जागेची निवड करा जेथे तुम्ही अतिशय शांतपणे कुठल्याही व्यवधानाशिवाय व आरामदायक स्थितीमध्ये बसून ध्यान करू शकाल. तुम्हाला विचलित करू शकतील अशी फोन आणि इतर साधने बंद करा. अतिशय आरामदायक स्थितीमध्ये बसा. तुम्ही तुमची मांडी घालून किंवा खुर्चीवर देखील बसू शकता. तुम्ही तुमचे हात हलकेच एकमेकात गुंतवून मांडीवर ठेवू शकता. तुमचे डोळे अलगदपणे बंद करा. तुमची पाठ सरळ ठेवा, पण ताठरपणा नको. ध्यानादरम्यान तुम्हाला अवघडल्यासारखे वाटत असल्यास तुमची आसन स्थिती बदलू शकता. सर्वप्रथम स्वतःला शिथिल करा. कल्पना करा की पृथ्वीतील आरोग्यदायी ऊर्जा तुमच्या बोटांमधून तुमच्या शरीरामध्ये प्रवेश करीत आहे. या ऊर्जेला हळूहळू तुमच्या शरीरातील प्रत्येक अंगाला शिथिल करत वर प्रवाहित होऊ द्या, तुमच्या पावलांपासून ते डोक्याच्या वरच्या भागापर्यंत. त्यानंतर हळुवारपणे तुमचे लक्ष आतमध्ये तुमच्या हृदयाकडे वळवा आणि ते तेथेच स्थिर होऊ द्या. जेव्हा दाजी प्लीज स्टार्ट मेडिटेशन म्हणजेच ध्यान सुरू करा असे म्हणतील, तेव्हा असा विचार करा की तुमच्या हृदयामध्ये दिव्य प्रकाशाचा स्रोत आधीपासूनच अस्तित्वात आहे व तो तुम्हास आतून आकर्षित करत आहे. हळुवारपणे या भावनेमध्ये स्थिर व्हा. ही एक अतिशय तरल सूचना असू द्या. कुठलाही जोर किंवा एकाग्रता नको. अन्य विचारांमुळे आपले लक्ष विचलित होत आहे असे आढळून आले तर त्यांच्याशी संघर्ष करू नका, परंतु त्यांच्याकडे लक्षही देऊ नका. त्यांना आकाशातील सरकणाऱ्या ढगांप्रमाणे समजा व तुम्ही तुमच्या हृदयातील दिव्य प्रकाशाच्या स्रोतावर ध्यान करीत आहात याची स्वतःला आठवण करून द्या. तुमच्यामध्ये प्रवाहित होणाऱ्या प्राणाहुतीचा खुलेपणाने स्वीकार करा. स्वतःला अंतरंगामध्ये तल्लीन होऊ द्या. ध्यानाच्या शेवटी दाजी दॅट्स ऑल म्हणजेच बस करा असे म्हणतील. यानंतर काही काळ आपले डोळे बंद ठेवून त्या मनस्थितीमध्ये स्थिर राहण्याचा प्रयत्न करा. तुम्हाला कसे वाटते आहे याचे निरीक्षण करा. त्या भावनेमध्ये मग्न होऊन त्या जाणीवेमध्ये बुडून जा आणि तिला तुमचा एक भाग होऊ द्या. जेव्हा तुम्हाला इच्छा होईल तेव्हा आपले डोळे अलगद उघडा. तुम्हाला ध्यानादरम्यान आलेले अनुभव वहीमध्ये नोंदवून ठेवा. यामुळे तुम्हाला सजगता व निरीक्षण शक्ती वाढवण्यास मदत मिळेल. पुन्हा एकदा, जेव्हा दाजी ध्यान सुरू करण्यास सांगतील त्यावेळेस असा विचार करा की दिव्य प्रकाशाचा स्रोत आधीपासूनच तुमच्या हृदयामध्ये अस्तित्वात आहे व तो तुम्हाला आतून आकर्षित करत आहे. हा स्वतःचा स्वतःमधील प्रवास तुम्ही नक्की प्रेमाने जतन करून ठेवाल.
Please start meditation. That's all. Namaste, everyone. A few announcements. What ideas comes to your mind when you think of kindness? When you close your eyes and think of kindness, what do you see? Kindness for self, for each other, and the environment. This is going to be the topic of 2021 essay writing competition. All about kindness to yourself, to others, to environment. This year we achieved two new milestones for essay event. Firstly, we have opened it up for global participation. It's not just for India, but secondly, it's an online event. Participants can write an essay in 15 languages, 6 official languages of the United Nations and 9 from India. The details are available on our Heartfulness website, hfn.link/essay event. Second program we are introducing this week is from our Heartfulness Yoga Academy. In short, it can train especially the PT teachers, the physical training teachers we have in all schools. The central government under Prime Minister Modi's guidance, they're making it mandatory for these PT, physical trainers, to learn and certify with yoga. I'm happy that Heartfulness Institute will be able to cater this particular need. Similarly, teachers, Bachelor of Education, B.Ed, M.Ed, can also participate and get an additional certification for yoga. I would also like to add that while they are here undergoing this yoga training and yoga certification, we can also enable them to become brighter minds trainer. So all this can add up to their additional income besides whatever they are serving in schools. Okay. Yoga, Udyoga, and Sahyoga. This has been the dream of Sri Vinoba Bhave. This is our children should be experts in yoga. Yoga must not be translated into udyog, but each individual should become an udyogi, self-sustaining individuals. It should not become a parasite to the society or to anyone. And fundamental thing, sahyog, cooperation, not only within the family or within the community, but at a global level. But we'll have to start with ourselves first, and hopefully the tradition of Sahaj Marg, as Babuji says, can engulf the whole globe one day, crossing all the political boundaries. We have been witnessing all sorts of turmoils and turbulences all throughout the globe. How long will it last? Abhyasis can make all the difference through their sincere practice. Either we can curb this or not practicing, allow it to proliferate. During this morning meditation, I had a very scary vision, that all these satellites and the entire thing were full of ice. It was as if the ice age had settled and engulfed us all. See. Also, keeping this in mind, a lot of people are financially struggling in their lives. There are so many ways we can help them, especially in training. Many things are happening, like brighter mind is one thing. Yoga also you can learn and cater to your community. Third thing I like to implement is also horticulture. Through horticulture, we can train people. When you go and buy a small shrub of rose plant, cost you maybe 50 rupees. But if you know how to graft, if you know how to propagate roses and many other flowering, fruiting plants, you can earn a decent income actually. Do you know how much a mango plant costs? A small shrub. If you want to buy a small plant with multiple grafting means from one mango tree you can have 10 different varieties of mango. That can go in thousands. So, such a training of grafting, propagating can be given through horticulture. And I would like to offer this training at no cost. our abhyasis can come here, learn this over 2 to 3 months. It's up to them to donate, at least for their stay and food. That will be good enough for us. All these inquiries you can relate it to horticulture and becoming expert in horticulture. You can you can inquire at grow@heartfulness.org. I think the last time most of you visited our ashram, Kanha, was during the 75th anniversary of our mission, Sri Ramchandra Mission, 1945 to 2020. Since then, we have had lockdown after lockdown, multiple, and it's still going on. The project team at Kanha has done a commendable job of juggling the various projects going on here. I would not go in much details because so many things are happening. We are renovating a new, very big school that can accommodate thousands of students. We are in the fringe of developing a sports arena that will have all kinds of sports, world-class sports stadiums. Construction activities are galore. I mean, they are going on and on and on. I should have done this before, because after installing some glass work and some mirror works in my house, I learned that a lot of our abhyasis are in this business, manufacturing glass, manufacturing various items, distributing paints, cement, steel. They are in construction business. Whatever we have developed so far, I think it is only 10%. So much more is awaiting, and those who like to share their products for Kanha development, they can share their details of what they are manufacturing. This is not an appeal for donation. This is not an appeal for free goods. If I give a business to Tata Steel or Asian Paints, it's better I give it to you. You can make your own profit, and I'll be happy that one of our abhyasis has made money. You should not feel bad about it. Anyway, would have purchased this from somebody else. Why not from another sister or a brother abhyasi who is running such an industry or doing such a business? Tomorrow begins the celebration of the great Avatar Purusha, Lord Krishna Ji Maharaj. It had been a tradition in Sahajmarg to fast for 2 days. Babuji Maharaj used to insist that people should fast for 2 days. Then later on, he made it 1 day. And then finally, for whatever reasons, I do not like to criticize, but sometime in 60s, he was kind of coerced into stopping this, saying that, Westerners are coming and Westerners may not understand what this fasting is all about. But nowadays, Westerners are more appreciative of fasting than our own folks. They are the ones who are appreciating because of the scientific research, how it helps improve your health. Intermittent fasting, autophagy. Autophagy is for 36 hours. Then GM dieting. And there are scientific studies on this. Our folks had been doing it for millennia together. But our purpose is not limited to just a physical benefit. When we are fasting and our attention is on someone on whose memory we are absorbed, on whose remembrance we are receiving this grace and transmission all the time during these days, it does something at a cellular level. When we combine these two aspects, fasting and remaining absorbed, it has a miraculous impact on our physical, mental, emotional and spiritual system. Immediately you will see you will have control over your emotions. This is the first benefit at emotional level. At a spiritual level, you just cannot measure it. There is no measuring yardstick that would say, oh, I can measure my spiritual progress. No, it cannot be. But it will reflect in your behavior, in your speech, in your movements, in your lifestyle. Okay. I would like to play. Are we ready on this one? Okay. You all know Babaji Maharaj had been talking about the 7 slokas which Lord Krishna delivered to Arjuna, trying to prepare him to fight the war. But these 7 slokas didn't do magic. So he had to transmit unspoken words, heart-to-heart transmission was given. That resulted in 700 slokas, or maybe less, because a lot were added after that. So, I like to play the details of those 7 slokas and 3 more additional slokas that Lord Krishna shared or explained what was his role, why he was here on the planet. He conveys to Arjuna the secret of avatars, why they come, why they descend, and how to take benefit of their presence. In one simple sloka, Saranagati. Anyway, here it goes. Okay. Namaste ji and happy Janmashtami. The teachings from Gita are eternal and time-tested. They inspire us in some fashion. Unfortunately, inspirations, however lofty, do not move us to the next step of actualizing the truth one is seeking for. We are always being told by our teachers and preachers of high rank and reputations that the best thing to arrive at is Sthita Prajna, no doubt. Also to understand that man should never consider himself to be actual doer of things. Okay. Would you be happy simply reading the menu from 5-star hotel when you're hungry? We read witnessing bhava or sthita prajna state or a balanced state or all those lofty states. How are we to arrive at them? Our observation says that mere reading or hearing of it is of no avail unless we take up the means to achieve all those states in a very practical way. We are always in the dark about those means which are necessary for the purpose. Nowhere can the slightest hint to that effect be traced out in all their discourses. The result is that those who are listening are wrongly led to this conclusion that only the frequent repetition, like mantras, verses after verses, should be enough. Things like I am not the doer, or I am Brahmam, or Brahmasmi. Is it all enough just reciting? It is detrimental, in fact, to remain under illusion of having merely done our part of recitation. One must adopt right means to arrive at right results. Earning the fruits of our practice, like sthita pragya state of mind, or having a condition like that of a lotus leaf in a dirty pond of water that remains unaffected, or becoming a witness, or joyously embracing saranagati, or performing niskam karma or desireless state. Will recitations such as I am Brahman or I am merely a witness actually give birth to such states? Think over it. If that was so easy, then by now all reciters and listeners would have attained what Lord Krishna is hinting at in many different ways. I would like to share with you all a great revelation, a mercy of my beloved Master, Pujya Sri Babuji Maharaj. Please pay close attention. Let us visit the Mahabharata scene when the war was just about to begin. Arjun is despondent and decides not to fight. Now, consider how much time Lord Krishna could have possibly required for speaking out the total text of Gita as we find it today. The armies were standing face to face on the battlefield, and war trumpets were sounding aloud, announcing the 0 hour for that ultimate action. How much time was there at the disposal of Lord Krishna to bring Arjun back to proper course, getting him ready to fight the war by preaching sermons to him? Think over it. The recitation of 18 chapters packed with 700 slokas requires at least few hours. How could that be possible at that critical moment? Evidently, he could not have taken more than a few minutes for it. The fact is that Lord Krishna actually transmitted to Arjun within few minutes all those mental states necessary for the purpose at that very moment. Really, they were the very conditions which a spiritual seeker passes through during the course of spiritual journey. The process brought Arjuna instantly to a higher state of a feeling of spiritual consciousness and purged out the feeling of undue attachment from his heart. This can as well be possible today if a personality of that caliber is there. But as it is too commonly witnessed, people hear, they recite Gita for the whole life without taking in the least effect thereof. The essence of Gita never touches their heart. How many has so far turned around like Arjuna? In spite of hearing the Gita for years together, Lord Krishna transmitted the knowledge to Arjun as witnessed by sage Vyasa, who transcribed the same in sloka format. This is important to understand, that whatever transpired between Lord Krishna and Arjun, unspoken words which were transmitted, they were transcribed in sloka format later on by sage Vyasa. This heart-to-heart transmission from the heart of the Lord to Arjun was witnessed by sage Vyasa, who carefully transcribed those emotions and conditions in slokas that became what we read today as Gita. The actually recited verses were only 7. These 7 gems were imparted to Arjuna through 7 verses. The rest were added by many sages over the passage of time, besides what sage Vyasa transcribed, the heart-to-heart conversation that was between Lord and Arjuna. Heart-to-heart dialogue was also no less important, perhaps more important than those 7 verbal communicated verses. I like to, with a lot of reverence to the Lord, to my beloved Babuji Maharaj, heart flowing in gratefulness, I like to share with you all those 7 gems, the 7 verses. One of them is from chapter number 2, verses 55. That says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan atmani eva atmana tushta sthita pragya tada uchyate. O Parth, one who, having renounced all desires born of the mind, one who is content in the self and by the self, it's said to be one whose insight is steady, sthita pragya. Chapter 2, verse 62. Dhyayata visayan punsa sangate supjayate sadgat sanjayate kama kamat krodha abhijayate. While contemplating on the pleasures of the senses, one is attracted to them. From attraction arises desire, and from desire arises anger. Next one also from the same chapter, verse 63. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. Smriti ansad buddhinasha, buddhinasat pranashyati. Anger leads to confusion or delusion of mind, which results in loss of memory. When the memory is lost, the intellect is lost, destroyed, and ruin of intellect leads man to destruction. Next verse also from the same chapter, 64 in number. Raga dvesha viyukteha tu visayan indriye charan atma vashya videyatma prasadam adi gacchati. But one who controls the mind and is free from likes and dislikes, raga and dvesha, even while using the objects of the senses, attains the grace of God. Same chapter number 2, sloka 66. Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya, nacha ayuktasya bhavana, nacha abhavayatah santi asantasya kutah sukham. There is no wisdom for a man without harmony, and without harmony, there is no contemplation. Without contemplation, there cannot be peace. How can there be happiness for one lacking peace of mind? Chapter number 3, verse 35. Shreyan swadharmaha vigunaha pardharmat su anistitat swadharme nidanam shreya pardharma vayavaha. Better is one's own duty, though devoid of merit, than the duty of another well discharged. Better is death and one's own duty. The duty of another is fraught with fear. In short, Babuji would have said, mind your own business. Chapter 3, verse number 4. Na karmaram anarambhat niskarmyam purusha asnute na cha sanyasanat eva siddhim sam adhikachati. Not by refraining from action does man secures freedom from action. Let me repeat. Not by refraining from action does a man secures freedom from action, nor does he secure ultimate perfection by mere renunciation that he may secure. Well, those are the 7 gems. Later on, towards the end of the day of the first day of the war, cajoling Arjun, Lord reveals 3 more secrets, personal secrets to Arjun. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam sujamyam. That is from Adhyay 4, verse number 7. The next sloka also. Paritranaya sadhanam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And very important one, chapter 18, verse number 66. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam raja aham tva sarva papebhya mokshayishyami masucha. So, all the best, my dear friends, and celebrate this Janmashtami with gusto, with joy, with fervor. See if some of you can fast also. Contemplate on the meaning of these verses, and as I said, these were verbally communicated from Lord Krishna to Arjuna. That really does not mean that non-verbal communication, which was heart to heart, is of any less importance. The entire Gita is relevant today more than ever in our lifetime, and it shall continue to sound and resound for future generations to benefit it from. Thank you, and pass on the tradition.